Hey everyone, Branden here, time for another episode of Branden's Boy Problems. Today's episode is about wondering if I am obsessed or just really into guys going through a crisis. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like I tend to fall for guys whose lives are like falling apart. And it's like, I've heard of fixers before where it's like, you want to be with someone, I guess, whose life is in like, it's not like their life's in chaos. I guess they're like, they don't have it together. It's just want to like build them up. Like you want to build a man into being the one that you want to be with. So you just take one and then you just try to make them better in every aspect. And instead of like finding someone that already has themselves together, so it's like you can just be together on a solid level. It's like you want to build them up from the bottom and mold them, I guess, as a Pygmalion into, like, if you know My Fair Lady, like, in that story, Pygmalion, where you build your perfect person out of clay. So, yeah, I feel like, especially with my ex and a guy I'm, like, currently seeing, I just am noticing too many similarities, and it's not necessarily good for me, just because it's like, okay, when I dated my ex, like, he was going through a lot of shit, like, he got kicked out by his parents. At times he was homeless. He lost his apartment. He had his car repossessed twice. His phone was like cut off for not paying the bill. He like didn't even have like money for transportation at all. Like when we broke up, like I had to give him my MARTA pass so he could leave. Like it just was a lot. Like no phone, no car, no home, no job because he like worked for his dad. And when they got in a fight, like he was cut off from working. It's just like, it was a lot. At one point he was even like suicidal and I had to like save him from killing himself. And it's just kind of like, am I a drama queen? Do I just like having there's always an issue to overcome? But it's like, it was a really hard time for me as well. So it's not like I enjoy going through a crisis. I mean, maybe I'm secretly a drama queen. I do like scandal. I've always like scandalous shows and drama. And I feel like you always need to like overcome obstacles and whatnot, but it's like I don't seek out guys, especially that are going through a crisis. But then again, I can't even say that because the current guy I'm seeing, like we first met, like we were talking online, and like I couldn't even tell if he was like that into me. But then like eventually he was just like he needed someone to like open up to and vent to, so he like called me and just told me how like his life was falling apart and like he'd been at rock bottom and like in a really desperate situation. It's just kind of like, oh wow. And like I wasn't really expecting that, but it's like, I mean, I like giving advice, like talking to people, like helping people through their problems, since that's why I have my whole YouTube channel in the first place. It's like, I like to answer questions, I like to help people. I've always enjoyed being, I guess, a psychologist or therapist, even though that's not what I studied in college. But it is originally what I wanted to go to school for, but I just realized like TV production was just definitely more of my passion. But I always enjoyed psychology and providing therapy and just being able to have people open up to me and then help guide them to whatever they need. So, and I did feel awkward because when the guy, like later that night, he came over and like we did have sex, and like I wasn't really expecting that at first to happen because it's like we started off, I was like talking to him, like basically felt like I was his therapist, and then now next thing you know we're having sex, and it's like I already knew like he was going through all this shit, and it's like now I'm seeing him and it's just kind of like, what is wrong with you, Branden? But it's like you can't like help who you fall for. And I guess it's like weird because I always imagine myself being such like superficial and like being a gold digger and like going out for guys with money and blah blah blah, but like that's not how my life has turned out at all. It's like I don't care like what a guy has, because it really just matters like how they treat you and how much time and attention they can give you. And I guess guys without jobs can give you lots of attention, which I had last time, and I like require like a lot of quality time and attention. But and you can't get that from a guy that's always busy working all the time. But yeah, so it just feels like I am just setting myself up for failure every time because I keep falling for guys that are going through a crisis. But again, it's like my life isn't perfect, and I feel like in a relationship, like you're supposed to help each other, build each other up, and work towards getting to that point where you do have like your ideal, beautiful, perfect life. But I mean, it's like going for guys that are getting their cars repossessed or their phones cut off and like they don't know where they're gonna live. Like that is a lot of stress and turmoil and drama, and it is kind of why it's like definitely trying to be cautious about like rushing into something now, because it's like when you are dating someone, you really are taking on their problems and their issues, and it's like I've already been through all this with one guy, and it's like I really don't want to do this again. So it's like he is at least working hard and has a job and like getting his life back on track. So like with my ex, like when we ended, like, he was at, like, rock bottom and didn't have anything. So, like, it was over. But at least the guy I'm seeing now is, like, actually still, like, working on himself and making his life better, which is a step up. But it's still just, like, this is not the future I envisioned for myself. Especially at the beginning of the year, I made, like, this list of all these standards and qualities I wanted in a guy. And it's, like, bare minimums I want. Like, you need a working phone so you can communicate, you need to have, like, transportation so we can do stuff, you need to have your own place to live, because it's like, I don't need someone homeless, but it's also just like a lot going on. But yeah, maybe I am secretly a fixer and I just don't mind building up a man, but I also feel like in a relationship you need to be there with your partner through good times and bad times and support them no matter what. And I felt like I was supportive with my ex, like, through all of his crises, but he wasn't supportive of me through mine, which was a big issue for me. So it's like, I need someone that would give me, like, 50-50. It's like, if I'm gonna be there for you through everything, like, I expect you to do that for me through everything. So yeah, it is difficult, but it's also like, you don't need to be going through a crisis in the first month of a relationship. Like, you need to, like, it's good to be there for someone and through good times and bad times, like, just what they say in, like, wedding vows. But it's also just like, you don't want things to start off dramatic crisis at the rock bottom. Like, you want to get better. You want to build things up, but you don't want to start where it's already at rock bottom to the point where your entire relationship is trying to climb out of the hole to get to, like, normal. So yeah, that's my latest issue. I'm a crisis lover, in love with guys whose lives are falling apart, and it's something I know I'm realizing is a problem, and yet I keep repeating the same mistakes. So thanks for joining me for this episode of Branden's Boy Problems.